Being ignored doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, it's messages left unopened, responses that never come, plans that fade without explanation, conversations where you feel present but not important. And the first thing you do is blame yourself. You wonder if you said something wrong, if you talked too much, if you weren't interesting enough, if you mattered less than you thought. But being ignored isn't always about your worth. Sometimes it's about how the world works now. People are overwhelmed, distracted, constantly stimulated, scrolling, switching, consuming, always moving on to the next thing. Attention has become currency, and not everyone knows how to give it intentionally. But here's the part that hurts more. You're not ignored because you're invisible. You're ignored because you're easy to overlook. You don't demand attention. You don't interrupt. You don't force yourself into conversations. You wait. You listen. You give people space. And in a world that rewards loudness, that kindness gets mistaken for absence. You care deeply, but you don't perform it. You feel strongly, but you don't broadcast it. So people assume you're fine without them. They assume you don't need replies. I don't need effort. Don't need reassurance, and they're wrong. You're ignored because you learned to survive quietly. Because at some point you realized asking for attention felt embarrassing, like you were bothering people, like you were too much. So you stopped asking. You lowered your expectations. You told yourself you didn't care. You convinced yourself this was just how relationships are. But deep down, being ignored hurts because it feels like proof that you're replaceable, that people can go on without you while you're still thinking about them. And that kind of pain doesn't come from neediness. It comes from caring. You're ignored because you're not chasing, not begging, not demanding. You're waiting to be chosen. And waiting can feel invisible when no one notices you standing still. But listen carefully. Being ignored does not mean you're unimportant. It means you're surrounded by people who don't know how to show up properly. It means your depth is landing in shallow spaces. It means your silence is being mistaken for strength, and strength, when misunderstood, often goes unnoticed. You don't need to become louder to be seen. You don't need to beg for replies. You don't need to compete for attention. You need connection that doesn't require chasing. People who check in without reminders, who respond because they want to, who notice when you go quiet instead of assuming you're fine. You're not ignored because you lack value. You're ignored because the wrong people have access to you. And one day someone won't need convincing. They won't forget to respond. They won't make you question where you stand. They'll see you clearly, not because you demanded attention, but because they chose to give it. Until then, don't confuse silence with insignificance. You matter, even when you're ignored. And the right people won't make you feel invisible for caring the way you do.